It's manhood hour. What is a man? What is a man? Man.
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta. Beta male. A man is a male who turns to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way. Beta male.
Oh, beta male.
Beta. I'm not sure about him, though, Joe. Because there's conflict about if he apologized for praying with the president or not. In different stories, I'm not sure.
Well, the one that James read, he was saying that.
Oh yeah,
he was trying to please the audience.
Oh yeah, Beta. What made me think of this? I found out the other day that a family member had left California and gone to live with his sister. And I'm thinking, wow, that's awful. And this family, and both the sister and the brother, they are both educated. They have degrees. They gone to college, and they both can make pretty good money, I think. But for some reason, the brothers still have to rely on the sisters. So the brother went to live with the sister. And I'm thinking, like, somewhere in the head or in the soul in the belly, if some should be saying, if my sister can make it without having me live with her, why do I have to go live with my sister? I'm the man. I'm the male. And men, I want you to know, I'm going to give you some don'ts today. Some don'ts. Don't do, all right? Don't do. When you do these things, you are beta. Just know you beta. All right? Number one, I want to know first, then I tell you the don'ts. Don't do's. How come girls get to the age of 18, they're able to go out and take care of themselves? They get their own apartments. They get their own houses. They get their own jobs. They get their own cars. They take care of themselves. But the males who turn 18 and older, they have to rely on the sisters, the cousin girls, and the girlfriends, and the wives, and the fiancés. Men are not. Why is that like that? That's abnormal. Really. That is totally abnormal. That's not a man. That's a beta male. And so, here's what I want to say, don't do, men. Because there's this idea now in the mentality of both men is that they can't make it without a woman. When it should be the other way around, a woman can't make it without a man. Right? It's the woman should be coming to his place to live after marriage. If the sister needed help, the brother should help the sister in the right way, not the other way around. But men, they get married. 99% of the time, men get married because of sex and because they believe they can't make it on their own. I have never believed that as a male, as a matter of fact, I couldn't make it on my own. As a matter of fact, I grew up knowing that I needed to get a job because I was taught to work all my life, right? I needed to get a house, and then I needed to get married if I wanted to be married. If I wanted to start a family, I need those steps first, to get a job, to buy a house, and to get married and bring my wife into my world, not go into her world. Because every man that goes into the woman's world catch hell. You're supposed to bring her out of her world, not go into her world. And so, but men are not getting this anymore, and they don't seem to mind. It's not embarrassing. It should be embarrassing to know you had to give up making it on your own and moving with your sister or your girlfriend or your fiancé or some older woman. It's still mama. You're still relying on mama as an adult male. That's the mama syndrome. You're still in a fallen state, and it should not be that way, man. Be embarrassed by that, okay? Do be embarrassed. That's wrong. You're saying you're a man but can't make it. You're not willing to work 2 or 3 jobs. You're not willing to sacrifice and save and invest and allow life to be created through you as a son of God. I've never seen such thing in my whole born days. I left Alabama at 18, and because when I was growing up, it was known, it was said that, hey, you're going to work, we're teaching you to work, we're teaching you to be responsible, to respect others, and all that good stuff. But 18 years old, that's it, buddy. You got to go. I'm like, where am I going? Because before 18, I was still young. I had no idea where I was going. Didn't care at the point, kid, having fun, enjoying my teenage years, and just, you got to go at 18. And at that time, I didn't know where I wanted to go or if I wanted to go. I'm like, where am I going? I don't know. I don't care. But you leave it here. And so, lo and behold, at 18, I graduated high school in May at 18. And in July, it may have been before that, but no longer than that, I left and went to Indiana. And I stayed at my either my mother or my aunt's house somewhere. And I had already come to California and visit when I was in 11th grade, so I loved California. I was like, I'm going back to California, right? And I knew nobody was going to pay my way to California. No relative was going to pay my way to California, so I didn't rely on it. That wasn't my thought. At 18 years old, my thought was, I'm going to go from Alabama to Indiana. I'm going to work at a steel mill because they paid good money. So I worked at Inlet Steel. I stayed with either my mother, her husband and family, or my aunt. Somewhere I stayed. And I got this job, and I knew I was going to leave. I was going to work 2 weeks so I could make a full paycheck. And I was going to head to California, come back to California at 18. So I got the job. I worked 2 weeks, and it was a hard job. I'd rather pick cotton than to work at a steel mill. It is hard. And I made a paycheck. And then very Friday that they paid me, I said, hey, this is my last day. I'm going to California. I ordered a ticket on Southwest Airlines. And at that time, it was $50 one way. So I flew I drove over to Chicago because you had to catch a plane in Chicago. Indiana didn't have an airport. And somehow somebody took me over there. I got on the plane and flew back and flew to L.A. 18 years old now, haven't looked back. And I remember only one time when I first got out here, I didn't get a job right away, even though I started looking right away. But I didn't get one, so I had to ask for help. One time only. One time only. And I never asked for any more help after that. I worked, and one job led to another, one job led to another. Finally, I got my own apartment, and one thing led to another. And I made some stupid mistakes along the way. Blind, couldn't see. But it just made a better person out of me. It made me a man. You're a man. But I made mistakes. I was in a fallen state, so I made some mistakes. But it was normal for me to go through those things and be a man. But grow up, right? I would have never thought of going to live with my sister or not being able to make. It just wouldn't have been a part of me. It just wasn't a part of the thinking. Because boys were raised differently back then. Now boys are raised as girls, and girls are raised as boys. It has reversed. And so here is some never do stuff. Don't do. From 18 years on, don't do. Number one, the other day we had this discussion about men pushing kids in strollers. I want you to, don't we have a little clip on that? Don't do. You should already know.
A clip.
We have a soundbite on that. 6-3A. Oh no, he's saying this.
Oh, yeah.
So when we discussed the other day about pushing strollers, you're not ready with these?
I am ready. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant something else.
So here's what I was talking about: men pushing strollers. One thing that you disagree with me about.
Well, we've already talked about this before, but the whole thing with like men pushing babies and strollers, like I don't understand why that's just so heavy on your heart to always. Like,
It's not. It's just not normal for a man to be pushing a baby in a stroller. It's a woman's thing to do. But men only will push a baby in a stroller because the mother of the baby tell him to. The man would just pick the baby up and carry the baby, or make the baby walk if the baby is able to walk. He'll have the baby walk. Real men do not carry babies in a stroller.
Okay, Jesse.
Would you carry a baby in a stroller? Amazing. So number one, men, in the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, the men picked the baby up and carried the baby. If you can't have the baby, don't. If you can't care of the baby, don't have the baby. Don't make the baby. He carried it up. The woman pushed it in the stroller because the men are strong. Your natural inclination is to carry. Your natural inclination is not, where's the stroller? Here is more about the stroller. The only reason a man would do something like that is that he's been, his wife is controlling him, and she said, "Oh, push the baby in the stroller." Okay, dear.
Oh my gosh.
But a man would never volunteer to do that of his own. So if your fathers have been perfect examples for you, you will already know this. So I do understand, all right? You already know, and you wouldn't be following the woman, you'd be following God, your father and God, right? The right way. So don't push them in the strollers. When I see you walking down the road, you know what, Nick? You give me different numbers. I got 6'3", and apparently they are 5'3", 5A, and 5B, right? You switch numbers, so I don't know what is what at this point. My package was not updated. But anyway, sorry, I was talking to my producer. He's telling me one thing. He said the sixes are fives, but to me, I'm black. A six is a six. A six ain't never been no five to me. That must be white folks stuff. Did you know a six was a five?
That's what I was laughing at the typo here. 6 means 5.
Now I'm real confused. 6 means 5, and I thought 5 meant 5. And so, is there a part B to this soundbite?
We played both.
But apparently there's 3 parts.
Oh, I don't have the third one.
Oh, okay. He said no, not 3 parts. Okay, so I understand you didn't have fathers and you can't help it. All right, so but you can change. Forgive your mothers for turning you into girls. And forgive your father for not protecting you from the mother, turning you into girls, and your life will change. You become you. And then it'll be natural, and you will clearly understand what I'm talking about. Because it's so much a part of your nature that it would be natural. Men don't live from here, they live from here. Women live from here. All right? Not all, but most. So what I'm showing you, and please don't be having those little baby stay on your belly with the baby in it. Then you're walking out like this. Don't do that. It's so feminine. Like you're pregnant, carrying a baby. Women are turning you into more women. Okay, so no strollers. Carry the baby. All right? And this is especially for the millennials and the Zs. And those that are after the Zs. I don't know what's going to come after that. It's going to be a mess. All right, so don't push the stroller. Carry the baby. All right, if you can't carry the baby, don't make the baby. And what? Oh, no, number 2. Men, don't ride in the woman's seat of the car. The passenger seat is for the woman. If a man and a woman in the car, drive. Even if it is her car, they say, "Hey, I got to drive." You drive the car, let her sit in the woman's seat. Men who are sitting in the passenger seat and the woman is driving, beta! You a girl. A girl. That role been switched too. Switch it back. Forgive your mamas.
It feel beta too.
It look beta. When I'm driving down the road, I see women driving and white men. I see white men and blacks and other too. Mexican men. I see Mexican mamas picking up their grown son that he get in the passenger seat. Don't do that, man. That's no look right. It ain't right. You becoming a beta while sitting there. Isn't that amazing?
So if you think that the kid has a license and his mom picks him up, then mom getting the passenger.
It's not a kid. It's a grown man.
Or if you're 16, 17, and you got
No, this is past 18 and past. By 18, you should have a driver's license.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not talking about 18 and below. I'm talking about 18 and above.
Right.
Is that clear?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Man, don't sit in the passenger seat.
I still think it's beta at 16 to 17, but I get your point.
But you don't have a license. I think in California, the age limit to get a license is what?
Oh, it's 16, 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
what drive? Oh, yeah, 15 and a half. What drive? Tell your mama I'm driving. Because you're learning, you're developing into manhood. When you don't do these things, you're developing into womanhood.
Right.
Even as a man. All right, so don't sit in the passenger seat. Even if it's your girlfriend, your fiance, or this old lady you met that's older than you, now she's your girlfriend, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Just say, hey, I'm driving. All right. And if she doesn't let you drive, don't go. Stay home. Tell her I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. All right? So don't sit in the passenger seat of a car when the woman is driving. I remember, and I was thinking about this, so I have thought it through. I remember when I went to Indiana, and I would go visit sometime, and my mother and one of her sisters would take all of us grocery shopping with them, or maybe out to a hamburger place or something. And I was a kid, a young male, a kid sitting in the back of the car seat. And I knew then it felt weird that the women were driving. And I think because of the way I've been raised in Alabama. But I think then I knew it was something weird about me being in the back seat. I was a little kid and the women were driving. It just didn't feel right. I just read something someone sent me. Sorry. It just even I wasn't even a teenager yet, and it just didn't seem right. All these women in the car driving, yapping, and carrying on.
It's so true because it just feels like the woman is in control when it's her stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're not the one that's in charge.
Men, before they become corrupt, traumatized into being a woman, they have a natural inclination of what is right. You don't even have to teach them. It's a natural inclination. That's why you're supposed to watch, observe, be an example, and let them develop. Oh my God! When I come back, I have a picture of a guy, a man sitting on his girlfriend's lap. That's gonna make you throw up. Beta male. You're responsible. Facebook. This is from Kathy says from Facebook. Kathy says, he's right. My husband would never bring a stroller. I can't even imagine a man say, oh, my child and I are going out for a walk or whatever. Oh, where's the stroller, honey? I bet your wife would want to throw up unless she's happy to see you be a beta male. She says, he's right. My husband would never bring a stroller. He would carry our son. The kids want to be carried anyway.
That's true.
So now you're pushing an empty stroller and carrying a kid. LOL. You're so right. You're so right about that. That is deep. That's really deep. I'm telling you, you're so right about that. Kids are beta that want a stroller. Beta baby. Beta baby. But you're so right about that. Go ahead, Joe, real fast.
Yeah, Nicholas Cabrera says, it's crazy, Jesse, that you mentioned brothers living with their sisters. My dad lives with his sister and my aunt. I told him how beta it is. Beta.
Yeah, it's beta. It's sickening. You're publicly telling the world you're a girl. You can't make it as a man. I can't even imagine thinking that way. A man is the provider. So if you can't take care of yourself, just one you, how in the world are you going to take care of wife and kids? And what is it? Why is that woman able to take care of her oneself, but you're not? Oh, don't say we're pregnant. Yeah, man, you ain't pregnant. Women, you pregnant, not the man. Men, don't let the woman say we pregnant. That's saying you're a girl, a lesbian. The woman is pregnant. You're not pregnant. And the woman is suffering for her wrongdoing in the good way back when. So she had pain because she's suffering because she disobeyed her husband. So you don't want to be pregnant, believe me. So say my wife is pregnant. Don't say we pregnant. Your wife got you saying that because she wants to control you and make you beta. There is a role for men and there's a role for life. For women. So don't use the word we pregnant. And don't say you're vulnerable. Don't say I'm vulnerable. Men are not vulnerable. Doesn't that even sound gay? You're vulnerable. Here's the man with the woman on his lap. Here's a picture of a guy with a woman on his lap. Don't do this. That's a guy sitting on a woman's lap. Huh? I can't hear you.
I'm going to zoom in
Oh,
here
okay.
so they can see.
Yeah, braid on in there. Look at that. Beta! Man, I'm so sorry that men are being degraded like this. I'm so sorry about it. I got that. My producer's telling me, and thank you, Nick. We got this from Alexander. Alexander sent that. Thank you, Alexander. That's amazing. Men, don't let this happen to you. You're killing the nature of God. You're God's sons. You're His image. You're the strength. You're the spiritual leader, the head of the woman. Don't let them do this to you, men. And your sons and daughters, when you get married, have kids, watch over them. Not just when they're away from home, but at home too. Be that example. Fathers and mothers. Fathers and mothers, make your kids grow up working, being responsible around the house. When they turn teenagers, get a job. They can still do all the other stuff that they're doing, but what you're doing is assisting your Creator in causing your kids to be children of God. But when you spoil them and don't help develop that nature by being responsible, you're killing them, you're hurting them, you don't love them. All right? So you got, so don't be moving with your girlfriends and all that stuff, all right? And don't, no, one other that I don't want you to do, but I just forgot it, so I got to go to Ryan, a first-time caller. So those are all my don't do for men, all right? And I got to tell you because your fathers have not been that example and told you. All right? And you're just looking feminine. Is it feminine or effeminate when you do these things? Which one, Jay? I don't know. What? Yeah, you're looking feminine or effeminate when you do those things. And don't let any woman convince you that you should be like them. They should be like you, logical. All right? You bring them into your world by being right and doing right, and they become like you. Your sons and daughter will have everlasting life then.